Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning to you. Good morning to you. I hope that all is well in your world, in your space. I hope you're out there, being safe. There's, some tough times going on right now. Good morning, Ali. I see you. Glad we got the Facebook back up as well. So for those of y'all who are there in the Facebook world, you can join there. Hey, Five Culture, I see you as well. And so for those of you all who have been joining us, for a Deciphered spoken word series, cool. Can you hear me now, Alia? Let me know. Let me know if you can hear me. Always got to know. So I appreciate it. Let me know. Oh, I'm assuming you can, folks. Now, so those of y'all who have been with us, you know that. Great. You know that I've been sharing poetry from my book, from the limbs of my poetry. Hey, JJ Burden, I appreciate you joining in as well. And some poems that I've written as well as on my own that are not in the book or on my CD Signs of the Time. Today I'm gonna, I usually do two poems, and today, hey Laurie, I see you as well. Today I'm gonna start off with a poem that many of y'all heard before entitled Grow Towards Your Greatness. I'm starting off with that, and then I'm going to share a poem that I wrote literally just last night. Oh, glad you got the book, Alia, called Breonna Bland Arbery-Floyd. It's going to be the second piece that I'm going to share with you all today. Like I said, it's less than 24 hours old, maybe less than 18 hours old. So I'm going to be reading that. So it's not in the book. But let's just start off with a call to your greatness. They say that greatness is a choice. But what have you chosen? You've been frozen in time and broken in mind. For too long, the same song playing in your head. Living in breath, but better off dead. But who said that you didn't have the power? Who said this is not your hour? You've been showered with a steady stream of words that kill your dreams. But since you're still breathing, then someone has lied to you. Tried to deny you of your own potential inside you. If you just decide to, let no one deride you. Don't even let them get beside you as you unearth the new you. Stop listening to naysayers and decide to do you. No more pity parties, sob stories, and boo-hoos. If no one told you that you're great, then let me be the first to. If you develop the thirst to drink from Faith's fountain, you'll develop the might to move mountains. You see, we remove tons of dirt to find 1 ounce of gold. So I ask you to remove tons of hurt and just uncover 1 ounce of your soul. You'll set yourself on a true path of excellence, getting out of your passenger seat and driving your own car. Reaching for the moon, but maybe only landing among the stars. You see, you have greatness inside you, but you must choose to be great. Blaze a path of excellence, leaving fear in your wake. All you need is already inside you. You just must believe in yourself. Grow towards your greatness and discover your true wealth. Now, that is not a poem that I'm going to break down right now. I appreciate that, Lori. We're going to see each other again soon, I promise. I do believe that. I broke down this poem when I shared it before, but it's something that I wanted to share just to kind of get us started, because with this next piece that I'm going to share, this next piece is a call for you all to be great. A call for you all to get out there and make a change and make a difference in this world, in this society. And so when I talk about grow towards your greatness, I talk about greatness however you define it. But I think there also comes a point in life, in society, where you're called to use whatever talents that you have to create action, to do something, to make a difference in the world, even if not for yourselves, then for others. Today, my oldest children just had their graduation ceremony, 8th grade and 6th grade. And I think about the world that they're going into. And, my wife and I do our best every single day, and my family, to make sure that they can live in a world that is better than the one that we inherited. And my hope is that after you hear this next piece, if none of the poems that I shared with you all before inspire you to get out there and want to make a change for a better society, the piece that I'm going to share with you all today, which like I said, is less than 12 hours old, I hope will help you get out there to continue to do the work that you're doing, or maybe even decide that you need to do more work. So it's called Breonna Bland Arbery-Floyd. a tribute to Breonna, who was killed in Kentucky, lying naked or just wearing her underwear in her bed. An EMT who worked with the police in the work that she was doing fighting COVID. It's a tribute to her. Sandra Bland, and there's every time I don't watch videos anymore except for when I have to teach my class at American University. I don't watch the videos, and every time I see a brother get slain, it's tough. A black boy gets slain, it's tough. But to be quite honest, every time there's a sister who's slain, it brings me to a different place, to such a point where I can't look at pictures. I can't even look at pictures of Breonna and Sandra Bland, particularly for some reason. I just can't. It takes me somewhere I'm not ready to go. And then Ahmaud Arbery, and then George Floyd, who many people are talking about right now. And so I'm going to share this piece. I'm going to be recording it later this weekend and putting it out there for people to consume as well. It's going to be free. People can download it and share. And it's what I do. So, Kiko Moore, I appreciate you joining as well. We're going to get started with this piece I just wrote entitled Breonna Bland Arbery-Floyd. Yo, I'm tired, but also inspired. I'm tired, but also inspired. Time to vote folks out, get these DAs fired. Grandma stand in front of cops defending their kids. Grandpops now the man of the house if they ain't dead. And I ain't watching more videos of me getting killed, because I see myself in every video, and that's real. And if I don't see myself, I see my whole family, my best friends, my students, my community. If you don't see yourself, where's your humanity? What you gonna do to stop this insanity? If you won't stand up for you, will you stand up for we? Show that Black Lives Matter? Fight for unity? But I'ma let you know, we ain't waiting for you. We gonna do the fight until all lives matter too. Before the next one is murdered, we gonna see this through and make change with the girls and the boys in blue. Let me also point this out before I continue to rock. The McMichaels, Zimmerman, and Roof, they ain't cops. So when they murder us in church or on the block, they represent white supremacy and that whole flock. And along with those cops, they represent a system designed to take a black man and convict and kill him. A line to take a black woman and make her a victim, then put them both on trial to dehumanize them, then put them on TV to verbally brutalize them, and never share the stories of these cops and their brethren. Then they let these killers prep the same story and rarely ever charge them with a felony. The justice system doing what it was built to do. Protect the cops at all costs, no matter what they do. But real change is going to come. It's long overdue. Because we had something that we never had before. You. Jamar Clark, Breonna Taylor, Usman Zongo, Cameron Hall, Eric Garner, Amadou Diallo, Tamir Rice, Sean Bell, Jamil Roberson, Eleanor Bumpers, Walter Scott, Fred Hampton, Harith Augustus, E.J. Bradford, Trayvon Martin, Lawana Phillips, Antoine Rose, Rashawn Washington, Daniel Simmons, Robert White, Tony Green, Clemente Pickney, Philando, Botham Jean, Sandra Bland, Stephon Clark, Alberta Spruill, Nathaniel McCoy, Ronell, Travaris McGill, Cameron Hall, Yvette Smith, Anthony Hill, John Crawford, Dan Roy Henry, Emmett Till, Yusef Hawkins, Michael Brown, George Floyd, Jermaine Reed, Kayla Baker, Rakia Boyd, Juan Jones, Miriam Carey, Jordan Edwards, Atatania, Ahmaud Arbery, Medgar Evers, Deonta Farrell, Danny Thomas, Linward Lambert, Marcus David Peters, Deontay Michael Stewart, Melissa Williams, Claudia Gonzalez, Ronell Foster, Prince Jones, Anthony Baez, Jordan Baker, Henry Glover, Tony Robinson, James Brissett, Shem, Tanisha Anderson, Shemichael Azef, Freddie Gray, Ronald Madison, Oscar Grant, Ayanna Jones, Dondi Johnson, Raheem Brown, Victor Steen, Cedric Chapman, Timothy Thomas, Aaron Campbell, Tarika Wilson, Ajibade, David Raya, Stephen Washington, Nehemiah Orlando, Patrick Dorisman, Ramarley Graham, Terrence Cruncher, Daniel Simmons, Manuel Diaz, Alicia, Timon Robinson, and to all the Christian Coopers and the could-have-beens, could be you or me tomorrow. We must never give in. That is the latest piece that I just wrote, entitled Breonna Bland Arbery-Floyd. Each name that I read, so originally that last verse was just going to be 16 bars. And when I started writing down the names of all of the stories of the people that this happened to, we talked so much about say her name, say his name, and I started pulling down a list, thanks to some of the work that people like Karen Hunter are doing, and I came up with 100 names. And when I came up with those names, and I did the verse, I said that I can't just stop with these people in this verse, so I put it out and doubled it from 16 bars to 32. And for those who are just joining, I'm not going to reread the whole poem, but I'm going to reread that last verse so you can hear all their names, so we can say their names and speak their names, because these are all of the people who represent George Floyd. Jamar Clark, Breonna Taylor, Usman Zongo, Cameron Hall, Eric Garner, Amadou Diallo, Tamir Rice, Sean Bell, Jameer Roberson, Eleanor Bumpers, Walter Scott, Fred Hampton, Harith Augustus, E.J. Bradford, Trayvon Martin, Lawana Phillips, Antoine Rose, Rashawn Washington, Daniel Simmons, Robert White, Tony Green, Clemente Pinckney, Philando, Botham Jean, Sandra Bland, Stephon Clark, Alberta Sproul, Nathaniel McCoy, Ronell, Travaris McGill, Cameron Hall, Yvette Smith, Anthony Hill, John Crawford, Dan Moore Henry, Emmett Till, Yusef Hawkins, Michael Brown, George Floyd, Jerame Reed, Kayla Baker, Rakia Boyd, Juan Jones, Miriam Kerry, Jordan Edwards, Atatania, Ahmaud Arbery, Medgar Evers, Deontay Farrell, Danny Thomas, Linward Lambert, Marcus David Peters, Deontay Michael Stewart, Melissa Williams, Claudia Gonzalez, Ronell Foster, Prince Jones, Anthony Baez, Jordan Baker, Henry Glover, Tony Robinson, James Brissett, Shames, Tanisha Anderson, Shemichael Azef, Freddie Gray, Ronald Madison, Oscar Grant, Ayanna Jones, Dondi Johnson, Raheem Brown, Victor Steen, Cedric Chapman, Timothy Thomas, Aaron Campbell, Tarika Wilson, Ajibade, David Raya, Stephen Washington, Nehemiah Orlando, Patrick Dorisman, Ramarley Graham, Terrence Cruncher, Daniel Simmons, Manuel Diaz, Alicia, Timon Robinson, and to all the Christian Coopers and the could-have-beens, could be you or me tomorrow, we must never give in. I wanted to share that again. And even as I look at this right now, I see that there's a name or two that I've repeated because, like I said, it's less than 12 hours old. And by the time I record this song, that name is going to be replaced with somebody whose name I didn't get a chance to mention, because by the time I finished the verse, I had more names to share. I had more people to speak on. And this is our call. This is your call to get out there and speak. To get out there. I see you, D. Payne Musa. I see you, Aziam. I see you. You know, this is our call. If you're not going to speak up, like I said at the end, when I said to all the Christian Coopers and the could-have-beens, we all know that when we saw that situation with Chris Cooper and Amy Cooper in Central Park, we know that had the wrong cop arrived, he would have taken a different part or different presence in this poem that I just shared, in this piece that I just did. So in essence, he really got lucky. And so when we see Trump calling for more violence, but not calling for the rest of these officers, when we see the prosecutor, Mike Freeman, looking for reasons to not arrest these people, we have to get up there and we have to do this work, and we have to make sure that it happens. And yes, it's unfortunate. Yes, we're going to have riots to get people to do their job. This isn't new. Another thing, as I break down this poem, I haven't broken down this poem beyond the last verse. So I'm not going to repeat the last verse, but let's break down what I wrote in the first two verses before we wrap up today for this latest episode of Deciphered. I said, I'm tired, but also inspired. Time to vote folks out of office, get these DAs fired. Look, we can get out there and protest all day, every day, but when it's time for these elections, if we don't get out there and vote these folks out of office, we have no one but ourselves to blame. We got people out there right now risking COVID right now because people are saying that, oh, I might get killed by cops or get killed by COVID. It don't even really matter anymore, right? We're going to get out there and risk our lives. We got to get out there and continue to vote on election day to get these guys out of office. Grandma standing in front of cops defending their kids. Grandpops not a man of the house if they ain't dead. Some of y'all saw the video of the brother who was 21 years old who ran a stop sign a couple of days ago and got to his house because he was scared to get out the car, and the grandmother came out there to intervene, and she was also knocked down by the cops as they had the guns on her. That's what I was talking to in that line. Grandpop's not a man of the house if they ain't dead. I'm speaking of Stephon Clark in Sacramento when his grandparents were home, and his grandfather heard him calling out his name as he was getting killed. Peace to you, VCR, I see you. And so I'm speaking to that. And I ain't watching more videos of me getting killed. Like I said, I don't watch the videos. I don't need to watch a George Floyd video. I don't need to watch a Stephon Clark video. I don't need to see that to be, y'all see where I'm at right now. I don't need the video to add on to that. And I truly believe that more of us watching this stuff, particularly while we're on various forms of quarantine, only adds to more stress. So I think we all should stop watching them if we are accustomed to doing that, because it only hurts us more. And I ain't watching more videos of me getting killed because I see myself in every video that's real. And if I don't see me, I see my whole family, my best friends, my students, my community. All of y'all watching right now, when we see these videos, I see you in there. I see you in there. If it's not somebody who's, Eric Garner and I were the same age. Right? And so many of these other ones that I'm seeing right now are the same age as me. But if I'm seeing other people as well, I'm speaking to that. Sisters, brothers, whoever it is, I see you. If you don't see yourself, where's your humanities? It's like when I talk to my students at American University who are not black, I say, do you see yourself in these videos? They'll say no. And it's not shade or anger at them. Of course not. You can't see yourself at things that you just don't see. I get that. And so but I'm saying we have to start seeing, I hear you, Prince Lewis. We have to start seeing ourselves in these other people. Like I said in a prior video, when I see Jewish people get beat, I see myself. Muslim people, transgender, whatever, I see myself. Once we start doing that, we're going to start seeing change. But I'm going to let you know, show that if you won't stand up, will you stand for we? Show that Black Lives Matter, fight for unity. But I'm going to let you know, we ain't waiting for you. We're going to fight until all lives matter too. We know the all lives matter argument is a nonsensical argument. We know that people are saying all lives matter. They're just saying that, then they go on to watch Friends or Seinfeld or whatever they're doing next because they don't really care. But we're going to do the work to make sure that all lives matter too. Before the next one is murder, we're going to see this through and make the change with the girls and the boys in blue. I said the girls and the boys in blue because, this is, I was thinking of the woman who shot Terrence Crutcher and Botham Jean. These are female officers as well who often get off. And we talk about the power of white tears, that Amy Cooper tried to use in her situation earlier this week. So this is the last voice I'm going to share, last verse. And again, I'm going to also put this on the live TV as well. And, the last two verses, actually two verses where I shout out all of the names of the people who've been lost. But I've already spoken to that, so I'm just going to share this last piece of this voice. Let me also point out, before I continue to rock, the McMichael, Zimmerman, and Roof ain't cops. The McMichaels, the guys who killed Ahmaud Arbery and George Zimmerman, these guys are not police, but we group them in these places. And Dylan Roof, we group them in these conversations as if they're police as well. And even when Zimmerman was on trial, I heard one of the jurors say the way they were introducing evidence, it was as if he was a cop, and there were only certain things we could agree to guilty or not guilty on. They are not cops, and we got to stop talking about them as if they are. So when they murder us in church or on the block, they represent white supremacy and that whole flock. That's who these guys represent. Nothing more, nothing less. Designed to take a black man and convict and kill him. Aligned to take a black woman and make her a victim. I'm talking about all of the stories that people put on, how they take the victim and put them on trial. But not the officers, not the Zimmermans and those guys. They put us on trial. They're already putting George Floyd on trial, as we see. Then put them on trial to dehumanize them, like they did with people like Trayvon Martin as well. Brought up a time he smoked weed or something and do these things to justify black death. Tired of it. Then put them on TV to verbally brutalize them and never share the stories of these cops and their brethren. What about this guy who killed Floyd, who had 18 complaints, right? And still on the force? What about that? Where's that story? People always talk about the Stephon Clarks and Trayvon Martins of the world and talk about, oh, these guys are the victims of, or they have bad parenting. I think it's bad parenting to raise kids who would shoot people in the back. I think it's bad parenting to shoot people, the Walter Scotts of the world, who are running and place a taser next to them. I think it's bad parenting to put their knee on somebody's neck as well. Why? When do we talk about the parents who would raise kids to do that? So if we're not going to blame the parents in those cases, don't blame them as it relates to these other people who are unarmed and in many cases following the letter of the law. And never share and they let these killers prep the same story, because each time that they don't get arrested, this time they get to work together to come up with the same story. And now these 4 officers who killed George Floyd are pleading the fifth. And rarely ever charge them with a felony. The justice system doing what it was built to do. People say the justice system failing, doing what it exactly was meant to do. Bad cops are the overseers of today, and there are a lot of good cops out there, but these good cops, if you're not speaking up, you're just as guilty as the cops doing these actions. So get out there and speak. When black people were able to become police, some of y'all may not even notice they couldn't even arrest white people. They had to call the white officers to do that. I mean, come on. This is where we have to get out there and, VCRA saying here, let's not rush to judgment for those who are sympathetic to killers of black people. Let's not rush to judgment, right? That's what they say. How about let's follow the law? George Floyd didn't have a right to resist arrest, but he had a right to resist being suffocated to death. All right? Let's be truthful about what's going on. The justice system doing what it was built to do. Protect the cops at all costs, no matter what they do. But real change is going to come. It's long overdue because we had something that we never had before. A lot of us weren't around during the civil rights movement. A lot of us weren't around during, other movements and protests, or we're too young in the 80s for this or that, but we're here now. And if you're appalled, you got to get out there and act. Simple question, what are you going to do about it? Everybody can do something. Make phone calls, to Mike Freeman's office in Minnesota. Get out there and speak. You do whatever you do. We all have the ability to do something, but we have to do something. So those are my two pieces for today. Grow towards your greatness. I shared with you all. Again, I just wrote this song. That's right. Prince Louis, people prevail when good-minded people do nothing. This might be your call. And one of the things I also want you to notice in the poem, in the rap, I mentioned not just people from today. I mentioned Emmett Till. I mentioned, Eleanor Bumpurs. I mentioned Fred Hampton, because this is a pattern. It's a continuum. It goes on. Connect the past to the present. There's nothing new under the sun. This is our lives right now. Let's get out there and speak on it. Let's get out there and speak to it. Let's get out there and make a change. And let's honor the people who are not able to do that before we're next. So I appreciate you all. I appreciate, all the comments and all of the things that you all have had to say today. We got to get out there and act. If you appreciate what I'm sharing today, please share with other people. The song will be coming very soon as well. But even if you find this performance, works and could speak to other people, please do that. Get out there, y'all. Be safe. Don't just be reactive. Be proactive. Be an upstander, not a bystander, because we need you now more than ever. Peace out.